Hello, time travelers, and welcome, new time travelers. As always, if you enjoy learning about historical events from around the world, then don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today, we're going to start out in 1811, when in the Battle of Tippecanoe, a seasoned U.S. exploratory force under Major General William Henry Harrison defeated Shawnee Indians, led by Tecumseh's brother Lolowaska, known as the Prophet. In 1837, abolitionist newspaper editor Elijah P. Lovejoy was murdered by a mob in Alton, Illinois, while defending his press building. In 1874, Harper's Weekly featured Thomas Nast cartoon about the possibility of U.S. President Ulysses S. Grant seeking a third term, and Republican vote was represented by an elephant, the animal which appeared in several other Republican-related cartoons by Nast, eventually became the party's official logo. In 1913, French author Albert Camus, who received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1957 for such classic works as The Stranger, that was published in 1942, was born. 3 years later, in 1916, Jeannette Rankin, who won the seat in the U.S. House of Representatives, became the first woman elected to Congress. The following year, in 1917, the October Revolution, named after the dates of this event in the Julian calendar. The phase of the Russian Revolution of 1917 ended in Bolshevik Party seized power in Russia and inaugurating the Soviet regime. Moving on to 1940, when the Tacoma Narrows Bridge connects the Olympic Peninsula with Tacoma, Washington, broke up in a wind about 42 miles per hour, or about 67 miles per hour, or kilometers per hour. 4 years later, in 1944, Franklin D. Roosevelt defeated Thomas E. Dewey and was elected to an unprecedented fourth term as President of the United States. In 1962, Eleanor Roosevelt, who was the First Lady of the United States and one of the world's most widely admired and powerful women, known as a diplomat and humanitarian, died in New York City at the age of 78. 1962 also brought us, after losing the governor's election in California, American politician Richard Nixon gave what he called his last press conference, telling reporters that you won't have Nixon to kick around anymore. He was elected president 6 years later. On this day in 1967, American lawyer and politician Carl Stokes was elected mayor of Cleveland, Ohio, becoming the first African American to lead a major U.S. city. In 1980, American movie star Steve McQueen, known for his portrayal as macho loners in such films as The Great Escape, that premiered in 1963, and The Bullet, that premiered in 1968, died at the age of 50. Now, 9 years later, American politician Douglas Wilder was elected governor of Virginia, becoming the first African American to win a U.S. gubernatorial election. Now, 9 years before the turn of the century, American professional basketball player Magic Johnson announced that he was HIV positive and was immediately retiring from the sport. He later played part of the 1995-1996 season. 5 years later, in 1996, NASA launched Mars Global Survivor, a robotic spacecraft designed to carry out a long-term study of the planet. Contact with the spacecraft was lost in 2006. 1996 also brought us, with the backing of 262 of the 500 members of the Japan's House of Representatives, the lower house of Diet or Parliament. Ruichiro Hamato was re-elected Prime Minister, although his liberal Democratic Party had won a plurality of the October Diet elections. He could not persuade the Social Democratic Party of Japan and the Sakai Party to resume the roles they had played as former parties in his previous coalition government. The new cabinet included only members of the LDP, with each of the LD's main function nearly equally represented. On this day in 2000, the U.S. presidential election ended in a statistical tie between Democratic Al Gore and Republican George W. Bush, only to be settled on December 12th by the U.S. Supreme Court after a bitter legal dispute. Now, 2000 also brought us American politician Hillary Clinton was elected the U.S. Senate, becoming the First Lady to win elective office. 16 years later, in 2016, brought us two events. Canadian musician Leonard Cohart, a hugely influential singer and songwriter known for spare songs that carried an accentual bite, died at the age of 82. And our final event is American lawyer and public official Janet Reno, who was the first female attorney general from 1993 to 2001 of the United States, died at the age of 78. And with that, we return to 2024 and our current history. Now, let's head into the animal kingdom, where emperor penguins are the world's biggest penguins, and they trek 50 to 120 20 kilometers or 31 to 75 meters across the Atlantic to reach breeding colonies. The impressive emperor penguin reaches 107 centimeters or 39 inches in length and weigh 20 to 45 kilograms or 49 to 99 pounds. They breed during winter when they emerge from their more natural habitat in the ocean to trek long distance over treacherous ice. Now let's head into the science lab, where giraffes hum to communicate with each other. It's thought that the low-frequency humming could be a form of contact call between individuals who have been separated from the herd, helping them to find each other in the dark. Some researchers think they sleep talk too. And with that, if you enjoy learning about historical events from around the world, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. I'll see you all in the next one.